morning, everybody, and welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show, where the aquarists go to be in the know, right here at the Aquatic Morning Show. So good morning, Miss Dee Dee and Mr. Skipper. How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining me. So we are doing this podcast style, you guys. We did upload the first one yesterday. I think it went pretty good. We did it on the one with Miss Susie Q and the axolotls. So when it, I think it has like 24 hours or something before it actually goes live. But I will let you guys know where that's at and everything when it's finished. But let me run through and say good morning to everybody that is in chat. And just remember that we only will say good morning to everybody first thing. And then maybe at the midpoint, we'll take a break. Or when we take our break, we'll say goodbye or good morning to everybody else that's popped in. And then keep going from there. But we won't just say good morning to everybody as you come in. So thank you guys for being here so much. COC, good morning, Adele. We got Eduardo. Thank you, Eduardo. I did get your text message. Mystery Snail Guardians, and that's nailed it. Miss Mary Page Flynn, good to see you this morning. Melvin Reed, good morning. Fish Fam, amen. Jeremy, good morning. I hope you guys got lots of questions for our guests.
Oh, yeah.
B Wizzle, what's going on? Stephen P. Mystery Snail Guardians again. Thank you, Annette. You've been very active in chat. You guys, do me a huge, huge, huge favor. Please go hit that like button and share the stream out. If you've got Facebook, whatever, ever you've got it, when you send it out or when you share it, it sends out to somebody else that, hey, there's a morning show going on. There's an aquatic morning show going on, to somebody that may not know that we're live. So if you guys would do your best and try to do that for me, I would so greatly appreciate it. Papa Shrimp, good morning. And I am so sorry that I missed your stream last night. I was sleeping. Finally. Well, I got a little nap before I got back to work on the computer. Okay.
Right this second.
Danny Weshy with his yo, it's time for the Aquatic Morning Show. Jay Oliver, good morning. Bigfoot Fish Tanks, Dennis, good morning. Brookley Bell, good morning, lady. Dennis Christensen.
Hello.
Kara C, hi, lady, how's the puppy? MSC Aquatics. I believe Rocco is coming through through Twitch. Cool.
Go, Rocco.
She's doing great. Fast learner keeps everyone smiling with her goofy. She is goofy, but she's smart. Too coolie for schoolie. Patrick Hardy. Seth Frittingham.
There you go.
I have to really concentrate to say your last name. I hope I don't offend you. And I think I've made it to the bottom. So everybody that's here, welcome. We've got 22 people in chat. As you come in, we will take a break at midpoint as usual, and I will say good morning to everybody else that's come in at that time. So
Yes, we have a birthday this morning.
Who?
MNC Aquatics has a birthday today.
Birthday? Oh,
Yes.
well, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday to you. It's your day, don't throw it away. I've come to celebrate in a big way. Another year, so come on and cheer. It's the birthday last frontier. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We're having a good time, making me feel fine. I wish the day would never come to an end. So come come on and party. One day you will see that it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And so, happy birthday again, MNC Aquatics.
Sorry, MNC, but I had to blurt it out.
Yeah, don't tell me if you don't want me to say it. No, I hide what I need to hide, but we definitely say what we gonna say. So, without further ado, here is Miss Kats with Kats Aquatics. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a nice early, bright morning here in New York. You can see the sun is beaming into my plants over here.
Wow, New York. How cold is it up there?
Well, it actually snowed yesterday. We had some beautiful, 60-degree weather, but yesterday it snowed out of nowhere. I guess that tells you how cold
Yep.
it is.
Wow. So
Snowed
60
here
degrees,
also.
and then it started snowing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, we don't have that down here. No. Mm-mm. No. No. But I think it's cool that we all come together from so many different states and all around the world, because we've got Adele from Australia. She's in here. And sometimes we've got somebody, Sharpie from England, right? Isn't he from England?
Mhm.
I think he's from England. Anyway, so Kats, let's start from the beginning. Very beginning. When and at what time in your life did you decide, hey, I'm going to make this food for snails and shrimp?
Well, before I made any foods or started selling anything, I was breeding fish. It started off with angels, then it went on to mystery snails, and eventually discus. And
Ooh.
in the beginning of quarantine, I had a lot of free time on my hands to just really sit in front of my tanks and look at them. And I discovered that my snails, their shells were eroding, and I couldn't really find a product to help with that wouldn't wreck my water parameters. So if I can't find it, I decided to make it myself. And
Wow.
originally, I did make it myself for my own use. And as I was selling the snails, people were having the same troubles, and they were asking me if I know about anything that could help them out with it. So I decided to take my product, perfect it, and send it out to my customers. And that eventually grew, and now we're here.
So were you homeschooled, or did you go through like public school?
No, I went through public school. My high school is just like a mile, 0.5 from my house.
Wow.
I went to public school, but during COVID in New York, we all had to stay home for about 2
Right.
years.
Yeah.
So everything was online. So like right now, I'm talking to my computer. I have a tank behind me and all along this wall right here. So as I'd be in school, my head would just be turned this way looking at all of my tanks.
Well, it's a good thing to look at when you're, bored.
Mhm, definitely. Definitely. Especially when you have like babies squirreling around over here. It's great.
Right. I have a tendency, because I moved my Hillstream loaches to this little tank beside me on my desk, and they are just like all over the place, and they catch my eye, and I find myself getting really wrapped up in here instead of paying attention here.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just got my first crested gecko yesterday, who's sitting right over here. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
super exciting. I mean, he's hiding right now. I don't really know where he is. It's morning time, but
Oh, wow. Now, do you let him eat the same food?
actually, that's one of the reasons I was super excited to finally get my first lizard, because I know that lizards really need calcium. So I want to try and figure out if I can make something for them as well and branch out the calcium that I have. So it's not only for freshwater inverts, it's for reptiles and everything else as well. So when he gets a little bit older, I'll definitely start trying some formulas out with him.
Sweet. Well,
That's cool.
so what we have, Miss Kats has Kats Aquatics, which is, and I'm going to let her explain.
Yeah, so Kats Aquatics is based around a calcium supplement, which is not only a supplement for freshwater shrimp and snails, but it's also a whole food. So when you throw this little tablet into the water, it's not going to dissolve. It's not going to change water parameters. It's actually made with whole vegetables. So we have it made with spinach, a different varieties, made with pumpkin, which we call our pumpkin spice. And when you throw it in, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's already fed to everybody. Everybody has their nutrition and their calcium, so you don't have to worry about those shells eroding unless your water parameters are like really, really acidic. It helps shrimp molt and just grow perfectly because, like I said, it does come with vegetables in it already, so it is a whole food. So you don't have to dose it or anything.
And you've got several different kinds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we are actually currently sold out of the pumpkin spice one, the one that is called Calcium Plus Immunity. Aquashella did wonders for that one. But we also do have, I could actually go and grab them right here. They're standing on this shelf. The ones that are not sold out, I mean, I have an empty jar of the pumpkin one, but who needs an empty jar? We have the food types right here. This is the Calcium Plus Nutrition, which has the beets and spinach in it. And this is one of our most popular because it is the most nutritious. If you just want something simple and you want just extra nutrients and calcium without that extra orange and red coloration that the pumpkin gives, that's the one you'd go for. Then we have the protein one here, which is the highest calcium content packed with protein for body growth and increased breeding. And then we just have everything in one jar in here in the 3-in-1. We called it limited edition because I thought it would be limited edition, but people love it, so it's here to stay. But the name kind of stuck.
Right. Okay. I'm going to pull up your website, but we're going to describe everything as we take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, maybe. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah,
No,
you should
well-
put a little X in the corner.
Oh, crud. Look at me. There we go.
There it is.
Okay. So this is her website, which has the calcium there.
Yeah.
Shop collection, and when you push that button, it'll bring you to the foods, correct?
Yeah. So there you can see the pumpkin one that's actually sold out at the moment. I mean, I'm gonna restock today, so doesn't even say that it's sold out, but
Okay. And then this one is the
nutrition that I showed, the first one with spinach and beets right here.
and is that the all around one?
No, this is
Okay.
it does have 2 varieties in it, but it's not the all-in-one.
And this one is just
Yeah.
calcium?
That's the calcium plus protein. So it's none of them are just calcium
Okay.
because that would dissolve and the snails wouldn't be too excited to eat it. So that is packed with protein as well.
This is the all around.
That's the all-in-one where if you don't want to deal with 3 different jars, you could just get one jar that has everything right away.
That's good. Yeah, I think I would end up doing that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the pumpkin spice or the one that has just the red and the green, this middle one,
Mm-hmm.
does that have anything to do, like addition with their colors, like help vivate their coloration, like in the shrimp, and maybe not so much snails, but the shrimp, like say the red in this, does it help bring out the red in say a red shrimp?
So optimal nutrition always helps bring out more colors. The beets in particular, just because they're red, they
Mhm.
don't really, and they don't specifically work for that purpose. But when you do give them everything that their body requires, it enables them to have that perfect coloration. Where on the other hand, the one on the left, that pumpkin one, it actually has beta carotene included, which is scientifically proven to increase those red, orange, and yellow colors in mostly shrimp. I mean, I guess your mystery snails, the gold ones, maybe their shells will golden up as well, but it's mostly seen in shrimp.
Wow. Like, I didn't even know that, like, I didn't put together, I didn't think that either shrimp or snails would like pumpkin.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to figure out why they gravitate to that one the most, and I figured out it's because pumpkin and carrot, which are both in that variety, they have the highest sugar content, and who doesn't love sugar?
Okay.
So
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, so it's not added sugar, but the pumpkin
Right.
itself and the carrots itself are sweeter than your spinach.
Right. Okay. Well, so how did you come up with pumpkin? Like, I know you just didn't say, okay, well, I'm going to do pumpkin flavored this today for shrimp and snails.
Well, initially, I wanted different colors, and I don't want to add anything to the different color to make them different colors. So I don't want to add anything artificial or anything that's even processed. So I was trying to figure out what vegetables are orange because red and green kind of came automatically to me. Same with the white one. And I did some research. Pumpkin was one of the first things to hit, and I had to first figure out if pumpkin was okay for fish.
Mm-hmm.
And once I kept doing more and more research, I realized that not only is it okay, but it has so many benefits outside of the beta carotene to improve their coloration. It also has a bunch of vitamin A and a bunch of other things inside of it that help with immunity, that help to back up the immune system, which is why it is called immunity and not pumpkin spice.
Wow. We've got, I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, Jay Oliver from chat said that pumpkin is also like a dewormer.
I mean, I haven't used it as a dewormer, but I know that it does have a lot of positive effects. Oh, and one thing to know is that every single one of these varieties does include garlic. So we often use garlic for helping not the immune system. I forgot what it's called. It's like an antibacterial property, and it also entices the fish and snails to go after it. So
yeah,
if you
they
want
really like the taste of garlic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be a smart thing to definitely put in just about anything. I mean, we put it in medications to get fish to eat the medication.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they have garlic guard
wow.
by CChem, I think.
So you make these in your house?
As of right now, I started off making them in my house. I rented a kitchen now where I do have some employees making them for me because the demand is going way up. And I'm actually working with a giant partner. I can't say who their name is yet because it's not official.
Right.
Like, if you think of Petco and PetSmart, it's right up there with them.
Sweet. That's exciting.
Yeah. So with that demand, I'm either thinking about renting an even bigger kitchen or getting it factory made, but I don't really like the idea of it being factory made. I like how it's all handmade.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going right now.
Right. Yeah, you want to still be able to put that handmade, like homegrown
Yeah.
behind it. Well, so, but you did start out in your kitchen.
I mean, yeah, for sure. When I was making it for the first year, it was definitely all in my kitchen. My parents would come home to the smell of this stuff cooking.
So from the beginning to the end product that you see here, how long does it take to make it?
Well, it takes about 2 days, but it doesn't really take that long to put the mixture together, to mix everything together, to grind the vegetables, to essentially make your base takes about 10 minutes, but it takes time to dehydrate. So we want this fully dehydrated. So when you have it in your jar, this jar can last forever. Every single one has an expiration date because that is FDA required. And we still want not to use the oldest stuff, but it could stay in your jars for a very, very long time. And that's because it's fully dehydrated.
Now, is there a way to test that it's fully dehydrated?
Well, I just like to keep it in the dehydration system for about 2 days. You only really need about 8 hours, but that's my extra step. And before I ship out any of it, I actually hold it for about a month with little dehydration packets. You know, those little packets that you get in your chips or your candy. I keep it with those, and that just is an extra step forward to make sure that there's no extra moisture in there.
Now, do they ship with one of those little dehydration packets in it?
Most of them don't because the jar is quite small, and I don't want to take away the product in place of the dehydration packets because it is 1.7 ounces. So I rather just have you have the entire amount and make sure it's perfect before I even send it out. So I want to take that step with the dehydration packets by myself, so the customer doesn't have to deal with it later.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
What's the shelf life of one of those?
So, like I said, they have expiration dates on them. So this particular batch that we have right now, you can see here the expiration date says 9/23 on it. So that would be of September 2023. So about a year.
So from the time you make it to the time you have to put the expiration date on it is about a year.
Yeah. So given that you keep it dry so that you don't dump a cup of water inside of the jar, it's going to last you a very long time.
Wow.
That's good.
So personally, how many different types of shrimp do you own?
Right now, 4. I have my blues over there, my yellows over here, my reds, and then the Skittle tank, which kind of reverts back to the wilds type. So I don't know if that's considered 4. But in that tank behind me, I don't even know how many snails I have. Probably like 400. That's a 90-gallon behind me. I'm not. I mean, the sun is shining quite bright, so you can't really see it. But
We can kind of see it behind you. You just can't really see what's in it.
yeah,
But,
it's a bunch of plants and snails.
That's a planted tank with just snails.
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to get a 90-gallon. I'm like, I'm gonna get some really cool Oscars, some monster fish. That's gonna be interesting. Right now, I have 6 gudgeons in there, which are about this big. 2 cories, 2 plecos, and the rest are just all snails.
So it's a large nano tank.
Yeah, essentially.
I hear you. So, Kats, do you do any merch?
Well, I watched Shark Tank, and they said that the sharks said that they don't like when somebody's making a product and they sell merch. So I do have shirts that I give away for free, and some of my packages, some of my larger orders, I throw in free shirts and free wristbands, but I don't sell it as of now because I really want to focus on keeping this formula perfect and perfecting it even further if I can. So, like I said, like in the shows at Aquashella, sometimes I bring a couple of shirts, but not to sell, just to give away to some people.
Wow.
But I didn't sell them for now.
Okay. All right. So you hear that, you guys? If you want to get a free shirt, then you need to make a big purchase. I need to make a big purchase.
Yeah, I mean, you can use the discount code. You could use the code Aquashella. You could use Loyal15. There are a few going around.
And so you said, how much is the discount for Aquashella? The Aquashella discount.
So the Aquashella discount is 15, and so is the Loyal 15. So Loyal 15 should be for customers that have already placed an order and they get a little card saying, if you want to purchase again, here's a discount, which is also 15% off. We do custom discounts sometimes when people reach out. They're like, I want to place a really big order. Is there anything that you can do? I'm like, for sure. I mean, I'm in control here. I can do anything I want.
Exactly. So is it just you that works doing the secretarial work, everything behind, other than the actual cooking and making these days?
Yeah, I'm the owner, I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO,
everything.
I'm the manager, I'm the customer support team.
Right.
I do have 2 employees helping me out make the food, but that's not done on a daily basis. That's done about once a week.
Mm-hmm. Was that the 2 gentlemen that I met at Aquashella?
No, that was my brother and my boyfriend. No, they want nothing to do with making food.
Okay. They just want to reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Who don't?
Travel with me. Oh, you're going to Florida? I'll come.
Right? Exactly.
Full expense paid trip to Florida, I'll go for sure. But getting down to
it. That somebody in chat asked, is it safe for human consumption? A crazy person wants to know. There's a reason why he's asking.
Well, it is made with 100% natural ingredients. I've personally tried it. My mom has tried it. My boyfriend comes over and eats it like as if it's chips. And then we were actually at Aquashella, Orlando, and some guy asked me the same thing. He opened up the jar. He's like, is this safe? I'm like, yeah. And so he takes it and he eats it. I'm like, okay. So you are just eating like calcium spinach chips, if that's your thing.
My goodness, that would have floored me. I'd have been like, what? Dude, if you're that hungry, really, I appreciate it. But there is a concession stand.
So Stephen P., that is not a good challenge because from what it sounds like, it tastes good.
Yeah.
Stick to your Rapashi.
That's right.
Honestly, it has a really interesting texture. I never thought that calcium would have such an interesting texture. So it's like, it is a chip, but it has like a grittiness behind it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, is that it would have a grit to it. Especially being dehydrated for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you dehydrated it before and then gone back and added a few drops of water to it and seen what it would do? Well, I mean, you have to be able to test it, see what it does in the aquariums, or did you just put them in the aquariums and see?
No, I just set up like 5-10 gallons over here, and I put it in every single tank, and I kept a control tank where I didn't put anything, and I just looked at the effects.
Right.
So yeah, I wouldn't really add drops to it outside of a tank because that's just going to make it rot because it is all natural.
Mm-hmm.
But I was testing it for a while, not only with myself, but I sent it out to friends and to fish store owners that I know.
I was thinking turtles. That's why I was thinking, like, if it got water on it, what it would end up looking like if it was just like had a few drops of water on it, because I know my turtle would love the heck out of it.
Yeah, so it doesn't fizz up. I know if you take a regular calcium pill for human consumption, some of them like fizz up if they don't have the extra coat around them.
Uh-huh.
But it's just going to essentially absorb the water. What's interesting is that when I was in Ecuador, I was volunteering there at an animal sanctuary. They did have turtles that they rescued from a nearby restaurant, actually. And I was able to make a similar version to this. I didn't have all the ingredients. I was in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. You're not really going to find spinach there. But I was able to make a variety of it and feed it to the turtles, and the veterinarian was a fan.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like it's a pretty good all-around food that, you know, it you feed it to just about anything that would eat it.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So-
if my little brother eats it, anything will eat it.
Yeah, right. So I was looking at your website last night, and there's other stuff on there that you also sell. And one of the things that tweaked my interest was that food tray.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes, the food tray. I got to see that when we were at Aquashella, and I was very interested in that. In fact, I was like, hey, what's that right over there? What are you selling over there? Let's talk about the food tray.
Yeah, so it's not made out of glass. So many of my customers assume that it would be glass, but I like to make it out of, well, I don't make it myself. I have it manufactured for me, but it's made out of acrylic. And I just find that it's easier in case you drop it. It doesn't shatter everywhere. It's lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is it suctions on the side of the glass. So you can put the food in there and watch your shrimp and snails congregate in one area. It's not necessary, but if you look at the website description, I say it's not necessary to eat soup with a spoon. Yeah, right up there. Is it. You don't need a spoon to eat soup, but it does make it a lot more fun, interesting, and easier. So yeah, it's just suctions to that side. So if you have that beautiful carpet, the dwarf hairgrass carpet, you don't have to put the dish right on top. It keeps everything in one area. If there is anything uneaten, you could easily take it out. It's not going to be in the back of the tank attached to the filter. And I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I want one.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
pretty
want more
neat.
than one.
We have a bunch. Just let me know. I could send some over to you.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty neat because you could use them for other fish.
Mm-hmm.
I was also thinking you could use it as a planter.
You could do that.
Yeah, it has so many different uses. I know people put like live worms in there for their pea puffers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I personally used it for my hamster when I had one. I thought it was fun. Yeah, it has
you are wandering into the reptile side, so that would actually be a good feeding dish for lizards too.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I would need to change about it is to make it so that little arm doesn't rotate, because since it is in water, gravity helps keep it up. I mean, it's not wobbly whatsoever, but if you have a relatively large lizard about this big, lean on it, it will tip over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't tip. I've never seen it once tip over in my tanks.
Okay. Well, that would be something to work towards, is making it so that arm is more stable so that it can definitely be used for more things.
I think it would just be a little bit of a technical design improvement. So instead of having it disattached from the suction cup, maybe just have it like melted straight in there so it can't move at all.
Right. And I also see that on your website you sell Katapa Leaves.
Yeah, just some Katapa Leaves. They're actually ginormous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I get them in so big. The ones I see at the pet store are about this big on average. Mine come in like at a ridiculous huge level. It's either they're this big or this big.
Right. I have some that are a good medium. They're about 5 inches, but I had to buy them in a pretty big bulk to do that as well. I like the big ones. I mean, they all have, you can take and tear them up, to whatever size you want. They last longer, it seems. But
I definitely like them in all of my tanks.
All right. So we've gone through the the dish and that, but you also have live goods.
Yeah, we're pretty sold out of all of the plants after coming back from Aquashella. So
Mm-hmm.
the Java Moss, no more. The floating ones, actually, I have a bunch right now, so that's gonna go in stock probably today. And then yeah, those are my snails.
Aw. So what color are those?
So I have the golds, the chestnut, I have purples, I have a bunch of jades and blues.
Okay.
Ivories, I have not that many. I guess their genetics are a bit recessive, so I'd have to breed them specifically together to get more ivories. But those are, I pretty much have all of the colors. I don't think I'd be missing anything, especially since I have the jades.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, look at that.
There they are.
Now that looks a blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see a lot of people that call their blue mystery snails blue, and to me, they're not blue.
Mm-hmm.
That's blue.
Yeah, I mean, when you take them out of the water, they look completely different, especially against the white piece of, like, a white background.
Mm-hmm.
And the water has an effect on their colors. Here, I took them just out a little bit where they're still shiny with it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's right underneath the tank light, so that's the true color that you would see.
So when you select, say, 15 or 30 of them, is that just like that? It's just a handful miscellaneous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
when you order them, you could put in a request, and if we
Okay.
could fulfill that, we'd love to.
okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. So where would you put in the request at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you go to make the final purchase at the checkout, there is a little section where it says add a note or add a message, and I read all of those messages before I do anything.
Okay. All right. I was just seeing.
Cool.
And it looks like you get you pay and it goes through PayPal. Is that the only form of payment you can do?
No, PayPal is available. You could press buy now or add to cart and then press a little cart symbol at the top, and you could use Stripe, you could use your credit card, your debit card, practically anything you'd like.
That's
Okay.
good.
All
It's
right.
good. It's definitely good to have a variety on the way
Yes.
people can make payments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you normally is the Java Moss the only thing that you sell plant wise, or do you normally have others?
No, I normally have more. I backed away a little bit from selling plants just because I really want to focus on the calcium for now, because that's what I want to push the most. And
Right.
I do have partners and retailers who do sell plants, and I don't want them to be like, why are you selling something that I sell? I
Right.
want to be fully focused on the calcium.
Right. Well, one reason, I give you one good reason, so you only have to pay one shipping rate.
Yeah,
That's one good reason.
definitely.
So if you're going in to get your shrimp or snail food, and you needed, some Katapa leaves or some duckweed or frog bit, or what's the other one? That looks hairy. Is that a type of salvinia?
Yeah, I think I forget what it's called. I have in the description the names of everything that would be in there. We
Okay.
also have the red root floaters that's not pictured,
Uh-huh.
but that would also be coming in the package.
Okay.
And it's
Now-
cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it you can pick what you want out of that, or it all comes as a group?
It mostly comes as a group. You see a bit of duckweed in there.
Right.
I don't have anything against duckweed.
No, I
I
don't
do
either.
have a tank that is without it if somebody requests that. But it is an assorted thing.
Okay.
So we don't grow them separately. We grow them all in one big bunch.
Now, is that a red root floater? Or-
No,
Okay.
no, the red root floaters are not pictured there.
I've never seen it looks like frog bit, but it looks like a variegated frog bit.
Actually, let me see if maybe I have some nearby. No, it would
Never
be
seen
over
that
there.
before. But I think it is really good that you do have the other options of some Java moss or stuff that goes with shrimp and snails
Mhm.
in the fact, because, it's the shipping, especially now with gas and everything going up so much.
Oh yeah,
People are going to start making smarter purchases. So that's
Definitely.
definitely something to look at.
I mean, personally, when I shop online, shipping costs are a huge turnoff to me. So I made sure to use my preferences on my own website. So if your order is under $30, regular shipping is like $3, and that's not how much shipping costs. I just take the cost of shipping upon myself. And there are options if you do want faster shipping, which is like $11 and $15 for different countries. But again, over $30, it's free, and underneath, it's only $3.
That's not bad.
So you just said different countries. You're able to ship overseas?
Yeah, I ship to Canada. That's the country that I ship most to. I have also shipped to Australia, to England. Where else?
All right.
Mostly
So
European countries.
that's good. So all of our listeners can buy from you then.
Mm-hmm.
So if they buy from you, how long does it normally take to get from you to, say, Australia?
That takes about 2 weeks. If I'm being optimistic, I'd say a week and a half. If I'm being pessimistic, I'd say 3 weeks, only because it gets stopped at the border, and it depends on how fast they want to work there, because they have to go through almost every package they receive.
Wow.
Yeah, it sits in customs for a minute. I'll just say that.
I mean, I was shipping some products to Joey from the King of DIY, and he lives just in Canada, so it shouldn't take too long, but it took 3.5 weeks. It was ridiculous. It was stopped at customs, and it wasn't moving anywhere from there. I'm like, come on, guys.
Right.
So there was a question asked, is it for a reference? Say if you had 20 mystery snails, how long would one jar last?
So we say for the average colony for shrimp or snails, by average we mean like 30 shrimp, 10 snails, or 15 snails. I would say that this would last 4 to 6 months, honestly, because it might look like a relatively small jar, but if I could just go ahead and open this one. If you look in, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but
hang on, I'll make you bigger.
They're actually tiny, not tiny, but they're relatively smaller. So there's a bunch in here. You get hundreds and hundreds of tablets in here. So this would last a long time. And the way that they fall in here, there isn't much oxygen. So it's not like a bag of chips where you open it and it's all oxygen. It's filled to the top over here.
Yeah, so, we all know that.
Right.
I guess it's not oxygen in the chip bags. It's actually nitrogen to keep them crispy. But
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they actually need to include some gas mixture of nitrogen and some other stuff to keep them extra crispy so they don't go stale on you.
I'll be daggum.
So you go to Aquashellas. Are you going to all of them, or is there just certain ones you go to?
Well, I've only been to 2 so far. I am looking to go to all of them. I'm really excited to go to all of them. I enjoy the experience. It is a bit difficult sometimes because
it's busy.
I'm 18, so I can't even rent a car. You have to be like 25 to rent a car, so that part can be a bit difficult sometimes. But I get it done, and I really am looking forward to going to all of them.
The reason I asked, there was a question asked in chat that there is another event that is close, not too far from you here in the state of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Keystone Clash. Somebody was asking if you'd be interested in getting a table there. That would help you get your product out some more.
Yeah, I'm interested in getting tables anywhere and everywhere. I just want to make sure that it is fish-centered. The partner that I'm working with right now, they offered me to go to Global Pet Expo.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if I'd want to go there because they said it's about 80% cats and dogs. So if I'm like, here you go, guys, snail food, they'd be like, what?
Have you talked to somebody that's already has gone to that show before?
Yeah, it was them, and they said it is 80% cat and dog.
Okay.
I might go down there. It's in Orlando again, just to see.
Right.
But as of getting a table, I feel like I'd want to attend the show first to see what it's like before I go ahead and get a table there.
I want to go so bad just to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be different.
Yeah.
The Clash is fish. It's aquatics only.
Mm-hmm. Let me write it down in my notes here. I like to keep a bunch of notes.
You got the Clash, and then you've got that's the good thing about what I say we do with the events at the end of the show, because most of these events are bigger club events or big
Yeah.
conventions. And you would do well at the ones that we're telling you about, I believe. I believe you
Yeah.
do really well.
April 30th is Aquaticon down
Yes.
in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let me just write this down.
All right,
Aquatic.
I gotta get-
Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics from chat is saying, what is your favorite snail food besides your own brand? What did you use prior to your own food?
So prior to my own brand, I would try out things like Cuttlebone. It's not a food. I was based mostly on calcium supplements. I would
Right.
try the Wonder Shell, which I don't like it personally because it dissolves into the water and then your hardness goes up, pH goes up, and if the calcium is in the water, they can't use it as well as they could if it's inside of their diet. But outside of my own food, this isn't the exclusive thing I feed my snails. It is one of the I feed the most of it, but I also just throw in a piece of cucumber in there, some good old squash. They love leftover fish food. So I don't really use any other marketed snail food other than when I get snails in and I just purchase it on the side, which is I'm pretty sure Aquatic Arts has some. But those are what I use.
Okay. Where do you now we talked at Aquashella, of course, because I put that teaser out. But where do you sell your product at? Who carries your product at this time?
So my product is on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, my website. And then if you go on my website and you scroll all the way down to the yellow section, I have a list of retailers. The brick and mortar stores are mostly in New Jersey nearby because I was able to go and talk to the owners personally. But I do have other people. I know Flip Aquatics sells my stuff. John and Lisa from KG Tropicals sell it. Some other smaller brands like Beta Botanicals sell it. Yeah, if you click here to see our retailers, that blue.
Okay, I see it.
I didn't update John and Lisa there yet, but that's where you can find it for now.
Okay. Aquarium Roots, Beta
Mhm.
Botanicals.
Discus Madness. Yeah.
Oh. I haven't heard of some of these before. And
Yeah.
Joe Shrimp Shack. I have heard of Joe Shrimp Shack. In fact, he is a big sponsor of the Aquatic Morning Show.
Yeah, I do have to add a couple more retailers to this list who are carrying the product already.
Cool. I like that. I like that logo right there with the beta in it.
Yeah. That's one of my local ones. They're in New Jersey off of US 22, I think.
So, how did you come up with your design?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, it took a while. I'm not gonna lie, it took a while. It's not like you can just sit down and create it. It took months of creating different designs. So before I had this around label, so this is professionally made, but before I had it professionally made and the top sticker as well, I would just buy the regular jars that are blank and put a sticker on the bottom. I can probably find one somewhere laying around. Not sure where, but I would have a sticker that I would put on the bottom here, and it was just like a paper sticker. If it got wet, it would, disintegrate essentially. Yeah, I just had to figure it out. It was just months and months and months of trial and error. And before I went to the first Aquashella, I wanted to make sure to have it professionally done. And I was like full gears 2 months and just banged it all out. And I designed everything myself. Not much to say, just trial and error and figuring out what works. The most difficult part was fitting everything onto this tiny 1.25-inch label, because if you can see up there, there's a bunch. I mean, the FDA requires a bunch of stuff. If they were to go ahead and audit the product, they're going to take it, make sure everything is there, and if it's not there, then they could
pull it.
I mean, they don't pull it from the first 3 tries. They give you a chance to redo it.
Oh.
But I made sure everything is absolutely perfect there.
Oh, wow. So how long did it take you to get through figure out all of the rules and regulations and FDA and all that stuff that you had to have to be able to put this out industrially, pretty much?
Yeah, well, I figured since it's a food, it probably has some regulations.
Right.
So I searched the pet food regulations and I went on the FDA website and I got myself a consultant and they helped me out. And also, when I was manufacturing the jars, I had a team working with me and they were also there to help me out, telling me, hey, you might want to change, because initially, if you see there, it says net weight, initially just said weight. They're like, hey, you might want to include this little word here just to make sure that everybody knows that we're talking about the product inside, not the product in the entire jar itself. It took a while. It was a bit difficult when I was doing it, but oh boy, am I happy now that I did it.
Yeah, I bet. So while you were in the process of doing that, were you selling it in a different way before you got to the end product here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was selling it in a different way. They were in jars. The jars were a little bit smaller. That's why it says get 30% more for free, because the jars are bigger for the same price. Since I am 18, I only established the business as an LLC on my birthday because you need to be 18 years old to do so. So prior to that, it wasn't being sold under a business name. It was Kats Aquatics, but it wasn't registered. So we didn't need those FDA requirements. Now it does, and now it has everything perfectly done.
Wow. So when you turned 18, you just went.
Yeah.
You had everything ready and rocking and rolling by the time you turned 18 that day, and you're like, here, send this in, this in, this in, this in, this in, this in.
Yeah, people have birthday parties. I was heading to the bank.
Right.
Not the casinos, not the bars, the bank.
Yeah. The
Smart
bank
girl.
for 4 hours.
Smart girl. So how old were you when you actually did start Kats Aquatics?
I would say I think I created the name Kats Aquatics at 16.
Okay.
I was, like I said, breeding and selling to my local fish stores since I was about 14, 15. But
Wow.
Kats Aquatics 16 and Kats Aquatics LLC 18, because that's required by law.
Wow. Girl, you've had a business drive for a long time.
Yeah, and I don't even know how. I mean, nobody in my family is in business. Nobody around me is in business. I was supposed to be a veterinarian. Still going that route.
Me too. I was too. It's funny the way life takes you, the direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That's definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, you're as young as you are, is how far you are in this already, pretty much by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, I like to say by myself because I do it all myself, but at this time, I have so many resources available to me, so many businessmen, even though I might not know them personally, that are open online to give advice, to write their books, to give you information, to give you classes. So I am doing it by myself, but I also do have an endless amount of information right in front of me.
And I'm sure you have a pretty dang good support group too.
Thank you.
Right. So the comment is made in chat by Alishon. He's like, what will Kats be studying at Cornwell?
Oh, yes, at Cornell. I'm not sure if they said Cornell or Cornwell.
I'm not sure. Cornell.
Cornell, yeah.
Cornell.
Okay.
Yeah, so now, because I did post on my About Us page, it was kind of a big thing for me that I got accepted into Cornell for my sophomore year. It was for life sciences and agriculture. I'm not sure why they had to add agriculture into it. I went into life sciences, but that's just the name of the college inside of Cornell. So it would be along the lines of veterinary medicine. I have studied marine biology in Spain, and I figured out that that is not my thing. Although I love fish, I do not particularly adore studying the lines of a clam, how many lines are on a clam. So more into the life.
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I came there all excited. I was with my marine biologist. I'm like, okay, we're in this awesome place. Let's look at some beautiful fish. She's like, hold on. Put
the brakes on.
Algae. Here's this brown macro algae. You go ahead and look at it, and then take this clamshell and count how many lines are on it, the little striations, and there were about 170. And she's like, this will tell you the information about the clam. I'm like, oh no, I just want to like, I'd rather go more into depth either about animals or into fish. I'd rather go into the biology of fish and how they function and how they breed and their natural environments. So yeah, going back
Right.
to the question, I would be studying life sciences, which is on the road to veterinary school. But again, now that Kats Aquatics has blown up so much, I am just debating whether or not I want to live on campus now. Because although I do live in New York City, Cornell is in Ithaca, New York, which is about a 4.5 hour drive from here. And it's in the middle of nowhere, essentially. So I would have no post office, no kitchen. That would mean Kats Aquatics bye-bye, essentially. So I'm at this standstill right now. I am heavily leaning towards Kats Aquatics, keeping this because I am enjoying this far more. And I'm still in college. It's not like I'm not in college. I still am, just not in Cornell.
Right. I mean,
Luckily, you have a bunch of options
Mm-hmm.
because you can do it online nowadays.
Definitely. It is a lot easier doing it online. I do have a couple of classes and saves a lot of the time wasting that comes along with being in person classes sometimes.
Yeah.
I did night classes when I was working full time and then was doing college at night.
Wow.
It was you had to be dedicated.
Yeah, that's what my mom is doing right now, actually. She's working and then she's taking classes to get her PhD, which
Mhm.
is a lot.
There's another question from chat. It's Alishon. He says, not much money is in marine bio unless you get a higher degree. He went into biotech.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's all relative, if not much money compared to what. At the end of the day, if you're doing something that you love and this is your absolute passion, it doesn't really matter if you're making more money sitting in an office and you hate that job. You're not going to get anything from it other than a paycheck. So if that is really your thing, I would go full force into it. It's just not my thing.
Right.
Knew that feeling.
I'm just blown away at your age and what you've done up to this point already.
Yeah.
And I mean, I looks like to me you're on a pretty good path. And to disturb it, I'm not saying don't go to college. Definitely go to college. Do your classes and stuff. But I think Kats Aquatics is gonna go somewhere. I think you should stick with it for sure.
Thank you. I mean, I still have something to prove to my parents because my parents still want me to go ahead and be a doctor. So I told them, yeah, so it doesn't really matter to them that much. It does. They're very proud. Don't get me wrong. They are very proud. But ideally, I would be a doctor or a lawyer.
Right. Parents always, they want something for their kids, but it takes a while for them to realize what their kid's true passion. Well, it's making them happy, and they're really doing really well with it. Sometimes you just have to step back.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit.
So we have another question from chat, which is Eduardo. He says, Cats, with all your time being consumed with Kats Aquatics and studies, when do you sleep, eat, and take time for just you?
So I do quite well at balancing my time. My mornings not mornings, up until 6 p.m. is for school and Kats Aquatics put together. The morning is mostly for Kats Aquatics and then I have some school, but I actually do find time. I run to the gym a bunch. I spend a bunch of time at the gym. I still have time to go out. Traveling with Kats Aquatics is a lot of fun. So when I work with Kats Aquatics, it's not like out of my way. I enjoy it. I love doing it. So it's not a burden whatsoever.
Right. It's not like work.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing every moment of it.
Brookley Bell in chat says that her sister-in-law is a marine biologist and she's working at Petco because she can't find work.
Yeah, it is a bit difficult. I'm not sure where your sister is, Brookley, but I'm not too sure where you would Actually, I was very shocked at the New York Aquarium, which is about a mile from me, the Brooklyn Aquarium or the New York Aquarium. I wanted to work there or volunteer there. And in order to volunteer, which means not make a paycheck whatsoever, you need a bachelor's degree in marine biology. To
Wow.
volunteer, they don't even
Wow.
pay you for that. I was like, guys, a bachelor's degree?
Right.
Volunteer?
Right. By that
That was-
time, you need to be making a paycheck,
Yeah, for sure. For
paying
sure.
them student loans off.
So you'd be volunteering working at McDonald's at the same time. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I was like, there's no way this is okay. I mean, you're going to be taking care of seals and sea otters and all of these beautiful fish that you guys have and volunteer with a bachelor's. And they even requested a master's ideally. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
something has to change. It's a New York Aquarium. You guys could do it.
Right.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
She says that she's in Southeast Louisiana.
Oh,
That sister is, but and then I have a friend that's up here, and he's also a marine biologist, ichthyologist, all those extra titles, and he's a deputy sheriff.
wow.
So he couldn't find work either.
Yeah,
So-
I have a friend that I work with. He's actually a nuclear engineer. Whenever he was in the Navy, he just didn't. When he got out, he just couldn't find anything around here because he wanted to come back home.
As a nuclear engineer.
Yeah, he did it on submarines in the Navy.
Wow. That's impressive.
So we are getting some super chats and super stickers, and we will get to those in just a minute, you guys. We are fixing to be taking our mid-morning break. Trying to get some stuff pulled up because I was not paying attention. I was paying attention to you. So, are there any other questions in chat, you guys?
Eduardo asked, Kat, that is awesome that you have such a balance. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? He's trying to interview you, I think.
Well, in the next 5 years, I definitely want my products to be very readily available. That means the Petcos, the PetSmarts, the bigger corporations. I just want it to be available there because even though I love supporting mom and pop shops, that is how you get exposure. And once people see it that it's in Petco and PetSmarts, they're going to be way more excited to get it from your local stores as well because it gives it a sense of reliability. So I would like to have it in those bigger stores. And further on, I want to do something else. I want to expand. Right now I have these 4 varieties. I really want to make it bigger. I don't want it to stay small. I want to expand into different animals with reptiles. Somebody even asked me to make it for isopods, a bunch of different things. What
That
else?
actually makes a lot of sense because you could take one of those little squares and put them in your worm box or whatever and devour it.
Yeah. In 5 years, I mean, I'd like to have my own place, not live with my parents. That would be fantastic. So I could finally stock my place with lizards and nobody can tell me no.
Right? Can't tell you can't have another aquarium.
Yeah. I'd love to have a dog again. That's just getting down to the small parts. I'd love to have a dog again.
Yeah.
I had a golden growing up.
Aw.
It was amazing.
And you seen my corgis.
Yeah. I did see your adorable little girls and gals.
Mhm.
Guys? Girls?
Girls.
Guys?
Yeah, I had both the girls with me. Mom and daughter.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Did you breed them yourself or you bought them?
Yeah. Well, I bought Mom as a pup, and then this is Lena. I kept out of the last litter, and that was the blue one. And then we also have another one out of another litter here at the house, a male that we kept. So yes, I do breed them. I just didn't breed the mom. I bought the mom and breed her.
That's amazing. Though. That's also one of my dreams to breed some dogs. I feel like that's just amazing.
It depends. It depends on what breed, for sure. Definitely do your own work.
I have labs. Okay.
Yeah.
Choose your breed wisely. I'm just going to do this right now.
Yes.
You don't like your labs?
Oh, I love my 3 labs. Well, I kept one. Just like what Jess did, but when you get up to 8 to 9 pups at once, it can be a lot of work.
Right. Yeah. See, the corgis, they max out at 6 puppies. They don't have any more than 6 puppies. And Rainey has had 6 puppies only one time. And 6 puppies is a lot to deal with when they're 5 weeks old. Once they quit, nursing and they start eating puppy food, mama's done with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're hard. The 6 is a lot. But I love my puppies, and I don't have any plans to stop doing it anytime soon. But I only get I get a litter a year, so it's not like I breed every month or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely choose your breed. Just do a lot of research on them.
There is there was a setup that I saw that I thought was awesome whenever I picked my boy lab, my male lab up, and it was an outside kennel that it was heated and air conditioned. It had troughs in it to where you could just hose them out, and it just went out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I was like, man, I wish I could build that, but then I was like, no, I think I'm done.
Yeah, we have one, but we don't use it that much anymore. The one lab we had, the female, we're not breeding labs anymore. She's done, and I'm done breeding labs too. I don't want any more lab puppies. My corgis are what I'm sticking with. They're great inside dogs. They're not a very high maintenance dog. They do shed pretty bad, but I mean, other than that, I don't have any complaints.
Could they jump up on the couch or the bed, or
Yeah,
do they ladder?
Yeah, they can. Mm-hmm. Now I pick on Lena because I always Lena, white girl can't jump. That girl, she can't jump left nothing. But her brother, who is a year older, is a goat. So that just depends on them. But yeah, they jump up on the bed and they sleep with me, but they're not like they're not high maintenance dogs, which means they're not like a high energy dog like a lab or a border collie, or they don't have to have that constant exercise to get their energy out level. They're good apartment dogs. They're just the right size, but there's other dogs out there as well. I'm just partial to corgis.
Alishon would like to know if you have contacted or reached out to Absolutely Fish in Clifton, New Jersey to sell your products.
I'm not sure. I have a list of people I've reached out to, because many times when you reach out to them, you can't if you call them, the owner's not there, and he or she make all the decisions, and then the email, it's like they get a lot of emails and they don't really pay that much attention to it. So I reached out to a lot of places. I can look over to double check if I have. I don't see where my book is, but most likely I have. And if I have not, I will definitely keep that in mind. Two places, it's actually 3 places, but it's a franchise that really piqued my interest, which I really want to get into, is Adventure Aquarium or Aquarium Adventure. There's one in Columbus, Ohio. There's another one in Illinois. It is a gorgeous place. They have, I don't even know how big it is. I don't even know how you quote that many square feet, but they have giant tanks with a red-tailed catfish, like from the floor to the ceiling, just displaying the fish. They have a bunch of gorgeous stuff going on over there for reptiles, for fish. I think they even have some puppies, which I'm not a big fan of.
Right. Yeah, I don't like dogs in a pet store.
Yeah.
But
it's called That Fish Place, That Pet Place here in Pennsylvania, and it's a pretty big, it's like a warehouse, and it's sectioned off really well to where you can go to a certain area that you like. There's a lot of people that go to that place.
All right, you guys, we are at our midpoint. Actually, we're 5 minutes over our midpoint. So we have 2 super stickers that have come in. Garcia Aquatics gave us a $5 super sticker. And what we do for those that do that for us is this right here. And I believe we got a second one from Adele for $1.49. So, Miss Adele, here is your party. All right. Thank you two so very much for these super stickers. They are, so greatly appreciated. You guys, we are going to take our break, and it is brought to you by Joe from Joe's Shrimp Shack, who is a very good sponsor of the Aquatic Morning Show. If I hit the right button. There we go. And I am trying to pull up Stephen P. And let's hear. I don't have a playlist. That's what I'm going for.
Hey FishTube, Stephen here. Stephen P 2000.
There. And we are back. Thank you so much, Stephen P, for the Painted Rainbow song. We always greatly appreciate it. And you guys, we have Miss Bex from Bex Fish Room as the coffee cup sponsor this morning. And you too can be a coffee cup sponsor. Miss Dee Dee, do you have that role for us?
I sure do. Just got to do this part.
And I hope that you have refilled your coffee because we are now back with Miss Kats. Well, honestly, I don't know what to ask. You've been such a great interviewee. I mean, we went through tons already. What do you think maybe some other flavors that you're going to come up with in the future?
So I was actually talking about that yesterday with I say my team, but it's really my family members.
Sure. Well, they are
um,
your team and your
yeah,
and your support, so sure.
yeah, we were thinking. My mom came up with the idea. She's like, go the Rapashi way,
Yeah.
where they have all of these interesting flavors like banana cream pie. She's like, if you could make some chocolate and vanilla thing going. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know how chocolate works, like cacao powder. I don't know how that works with fish. I
Right.
would do a whole bunch of research and testing with that. I'm not sure how that goes. My thing personally is that I like colors. I feel like it really gives a pop and it really entices you. I'm not sure if it really entices the snails or shrimp or anybody to eat it. I'm sure it has an effect. Um, yeah, but anything that revolves around whole foods. So like chocolate, I wouldn't be using, Hershey's. It would be like cacao. I would have to do a bunch of research, see how that works. I was thinking about other vegetables. I was thinking of more of a fruity flavor
Right.
because right now we are based all around vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's not like I can just make it and sell it. It does take a bunch of research, a bunch of testing, creating new packaging. But I've definitely been thinking about new products. I have created one in the past that was made with the almond leaves, the
Okay.
Katapa leaves, and it was called Disease Prevention. It did go good, but personally, there was something about it I didn't like, so I discontinued it. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of other things. Right now, I am focusing on pushing these as far as I can
Sure.
get, which there isn't as far as you can get. There's always a higher level to get to. But yeah, there's definitely a few that I've been thinking about.
Well, we've got Miss
So-
Jennifer Weaver in chat and is asking, how about Pleco snacks?
Yeah, well, my plecos go crazy about this. I have a few long fin in that tank. By a few, I mean two, which is a couple.
Sure.
They do go crazy about this. Plecos do eat a lot more, so it would need to be, I would say, a bag that I would create, and I would probably use some kind of algae source, perhaps spirulina or kelp, something more along those lines. But the plecos do go after this stuff like crazy. They're the first ones there, they're the fastest, so they're the first ones to get to it.
Right. I know any food that has the vegetable base, they just attack.
Mm-hmm.
Especially your bristlenose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Eduardo, who also is in chat, is saying, Kats, love your passion. By any chance, do you stream live on YouTube or any other stream promoting your products? And P.S. It was great getting to meet you at Aquashella.
Oh, it was great seeing you too. Right now, I don't do YouTube. I had a little bit of a squabble with editing. I had to do it one time for class a few years back, and it was a terrible experience for me, probably because I've never done it before and I had to do it all the night before. But I really want to get into it. I want to start a YouTube channel. I have people streaming for me, like through TikTok, not streaming, but posting videos. I'm very lucky to have people like you who invite me onto their shows to give me a little step into the area. Yeah, I am trying with YouTube. I'm really trying to figure out how I would really dive into it as efficiently as possible.
Right.
Right now, no, but in the future, most likely.
And the hardest thing is just to do it.
Yeah.
Do it. And that, that's what everybody says. Your first one, even your first videos, they're all gonna suck because they all do, because you look back on your own videos and you're like, oh my God, what was I doing? And as you get used to it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is nothing what I thought it was gonna be. Why was I so nervous? But yeah, you just do it. You just gotta do the first one, get it under your belt, and then it gets way easier. Never go ahead.
Yeah,
There is definitely a couple of us that don't do no editing. We just throw it up. It is what it is. I'm one of them.
Yeah, there are several that don't edit, and it works for them. I edit. I I'm a little OCD and a little bit of a perfectionist, so I have to edit. But
yeah, like you said, taking the first step is definitely the hardest. Even when I look back on Kats Aquatics and I tell a story, I sometimes have to write about it or tell it from the beginning. I'm like, how did I even do that? If I told myself that these are all of the steps and all of essentially the headaches and troubles that I have to go through, my mind would explode. But if you take one step at a time and you just one foot in front of the other, it's really not too bad.
Exactly. That's one step in front of the other. Do your friends think you're crazy with so much time spent on a business? And that's from Miss Dee Dee.
Well, my circle actually has gotten quite small. In high school and after high school, I used to play on a bunch of teams. So flag football, basketball, volleyball. I used to do all of that. I was like the jock of females. So honestly, I was a little embarrassed to say that I did it. They were like, do you have any pets? Like, what do you do? I was embarrassed to say that I breed fish. I don't know why. I guess because not many people in New York do that. Everybody's just a cat and a dog. So I did get made fun of it actually for a little bit, but now they're all for it. They're like, yes, you go. You're traveling for it. You have people you talk to, partners. They did think I'm crazy. They thought I'm weird, but now they're like, wow, good job. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, they see that you're doing really well at it, and you just went for it, and they're like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I really embraced it in my senior year of high school. Even when I graduated, I gave all of my teachers Kats Aquatics shirts. I don't even think they know what that was. But I was like, here, happy graduation. Here's a shirt of mine.
Right. Yeah, I was I rodeoed, and so I didn't like play sports per se. And then before rodeoing, well, kind of in the middle of rodeoing, I did dance line. Wasn't as far as cheerleading, but we were there with them. We just weren't cheering. But definitely went to the football games and stuff like that in high school. But I don't think I would have been able to start a business in high school. I
think
wasn't geared that way. I guess I wasn't. I mean, I own business now, but I wasn't in high school. Wasn't even thinking that direction. I was more fun. I want to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one foot in front of the other. I think the idea makes it seem a lot more scary and a lot more difficult and harder than it actually is. It's really not too bad. Once you get into it, it's really not too bad. Like you said, the first thing is just getting into it and taking that first step. That's really the hardest part.
That it is. I always found that I get intimidated real easy. And in business, I find it hard to go and get new, like in your case, I would be intimidated to go into other stores, especially if they hadn't replied back to my emails or phone calls, stuff like that, and tried to get new places to put my product. That would be that I would find difficult, but that's just my demeanor.
I mean,
and in high school, I dang sure wouldn't have.
No, for sure. It's scary for me too. I have this thing where I'm like, if I'm scared of it, now I have to do it. Because what am I going to let this little fear take control of me? I know Rob from Flip Aquatics. I was kind of scared to go to the first aqua shallow where I wasn't a vendor in Chicago, where I was just visiting, because oh boy, did I annoy him with it. I sent him like 5 emails. I sent him a PR package. I was reaching out to him. He's like, no, we don't know. And then I came up to him like, hi, I'm me. And then he's like, okay, I like your determination. Let's see what this is. Let's talk about it. So it works out. Some people, it hasn't pushed fully through yet. Like I'm still trying with Corey from Aquarium Co-op, really trying to bang on that door with all of my might. It is definitely scary. You don't always get the best reactions. I would say about like 85% of the time. 90% of the time, people are very nice.
Right.
And a lot of people in this hobby are fantastic.
Yes.
But I've definitely experienced some people where they're like, what are you doing here? Like, get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you're just another salesperson. Move
Yeah.
along. I've definitely had to come over some hurdles, even doing the aquatic morning show. You know, you're just like, okay, and move on. Just do it. Just swallow whatever it is you got, swallow that lump in your throat and just do it.
Yeah.
And most of the time it does work out. But you also have to learn how to take no. You know, no can be a scary word.
But there's times where you'll find out that them same people that you ask, you find that right person that promotes your product, they're going to be knocking on your door.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was watching all of these videos like Joey, the king of DIY, KG Tropicals, Primetime. I was watching them for so long, and I never even imagined that first I would meet them. Second, I would have their phone numbers. Third, they would potentially be selling my product. So it takes a while. You have to, I think the most important thing is to build credibility and to just, sometimes you have to ease your foot off of the gas pedal, but don't fully take it off. It's scary, but it's definitely doable. If you can dream it, you can do it.
Yeah. Very true. Did you have funds, like the money, the funds? Where did it come from, or how did you acquire it, or how did it cost a lot to start doing this?
So initially I was selling my fish. I wasn't making much off of that. I was raising angels for like 4 months just to get 50 cents a piece. What I used to do is I used to write essays for people. I have a thing for writing. I can write very well, and it comes quite easily to me. So I would write essays, and I would make money off of that. More recently, I had to take out like a small loan for the containers that I ordered because I ordered about like 5,000 of them. And if they're 88 cents a piece, just the container without the labeling, then there's labeling, then there's shipping, then there's the actual product that goes inside, which is another huge cost. You know, that adds up. So I did have to take out a small loan for that. But if it wasn't for those containers, I essentially made all of the money by myself through the essays, the selling the fish, doing whatever I can.
Right. So has it come to a point yet where you're making enough, like you don't have a lot of overhead now? You're seeing the light, you're making money instead of, so much having to go get loans to have to pay for the product, just to get it out the door.
Yeah, for sure. So since I have a bunch of stock now, that was one of my biggest expenses. Now there's every now and then I have to reorder business cards, packaging materials, pay for the website, little things, but it's definitely a lot easier now. I mean, I was able to fully fund traveling to Aquashella for me and my brother and boyfriend. I'm able to do quite a lot of things now. It's a lot easier. It wasn't really ever too hard financially for me because, like I said, I was selling the fish and I was writing those essays. So I was always able to do it. It is getting a lot easier. I have a journal where I keep track of how things are going, and it is growing, especially with this new partnership I have coming. It's going to be great.
Have you seen like ups and downs, like drastic ups and downs with the way the economy goes?
Well, outside of recently, there have been a little less orders. By recently, I mean ever since this Russia and Ukraine thing has been going on.
Right.
I'm not too sure if it's directly correlated with the economy or if it's just a coincidence. I tend not to believe in coincidences too much. I feel like everything happens for a reason, because of a reason. It has a reason.
Sure.
There are definitely days in business. Some days I make 10 times the amount I made the day before that, and then the next day it's going to be a lot less.
Right.
There are drastic up and downs, but I wouldn't necessarily tie that into the economy for myself, at least.
Okay. So did you start the business during the COVID?
Yeah. So about March, because I mean, I was on sports teams all day long.
Right.
Before COVID. Once March hit, I was like, okay, well, I'm not just going to be sitting home doing nothing. I might as well make the best of my time. So outside of working out and essentially toning my body, I really dove into this and started expanding on this.
So do you think if it wasn't for COVID, do you think you would have done it?
Oh, 100% not. I would have still been selling and breeding fish, but the amount of time that this product required to get it really perfected.
Mhm.
If I was going to school and going to practice and going to tournaments and championships, I don't know when I would possibly have the time to really get this done.
Right, that makes sense. That's what I say about the Aquatic Morning Show and streaming and doing YouTube.
Hmm.
If it wouldn't have been for COVID, I wouldn't. There's no way I would have be doing this. But like you said, things happen for a reason, and it's working out. So we're gonna keep rolling with it. We had, let's see, Kat, did you play soccer?
I didn't. That was one of the sports I did not play because soccer season fell right in line with volleyball. So I had to pick between volleyball and soccer, and it was volleyball.
Oh, cool.
That was my thing. And then
So
it was basketball and then flag football.
Do you live near the beach?
Yeah, the
Or-
beach
yeah?
is a 3-minute walk for me.
Sweet.
Yeah, I live right in South Brooklyn, so the beach is here and I am right here.
Wow. Y'all live in an apartment or a big condo? Oh, okay.
No, it is an apartment. The houses here are incredibly expensive.
Right,
for
right.
Not even like a solid place.
Yeah. Ricky DeHoyas in chat is saying that he really admires your maturity and your drive. Don't let people tell you can't do things, and never give up. Always look forward and always give it your best and go for the jugular every time.
Thank you. I most definitely will and keep doing that. Thank you.
All right.
Then Dee Dee asked, when you made your first food, did you even think it would be what it has become today?
Absolutely not. When I made my first food, I was scared to invest to buy 12 jars because I'm like, I don't want to buy 12 jars and like nobody's going to buy it. So absolutely not. It's not like I created it. I'm like, okay, I'm going full force. I definitely started off small and grew little by little as the demand kept coming. But yeah, I like to think back to when I came to my older brother and I was like, should I invest this $50 to buy 12 jars? I mean, as a 16-year-old, that's who wasn't working. That was basically all that I had. So never did I think that it would get this big. And I'm sure in 2 years' time, I will be looking back to today and thinking, never did I think it would get this big from here. But
Right.
Oh, do you remember who your first customer was?
my first customer was this man in Manhattan. His name is Chi. He is the owner of Pacific Aquarium. And he was the first one who actually gave me a chance with this. Every pet store that I called, they're like, we can take your stuff. Like, you might have to pay a rehoming fee. You might have to do this and that. And I'm like, come on, like, I'm giving you fish that you're going to profit on. And so he did start with my fish and snails, and then he did take the product. So I don't know if he's considered a customer, but he was one of the first people to kind of believe in me, I guess.
Yes.
Give you that first shot.
Yeah.
And it kind of would have given you a jump start to keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. Well, guess what? It is time for our fish history and scientific news that I have been lacking on getting out, and Alex does it for us, and I just feel so bad. But here it is. Hopefully I picked the right one.
With the fishery living in your aquarium. So, you can check out more content over on my channel, but for members and for the Aquatic Morning Show, you guys get to hear weekly stories every day about cool research going on in the fish world. And in this case, it is a really cool project that right now might be really pointless, but I still think it's cool. And it's called fishsounds.net. And what it is it's a database that the University of Florida and Florida State University, so they have a place called the Aquaculture Research Lab, and it does really cool work. They're the first ones to breed the Pacific blue tang and the yellow tang and the firefish, and some races and things that are saltwater fish that have never been bred in captivity. They're the ones who figure out Iliobiopsidae and how to solve that in freshwater shrimp. So anything that's in our hobby or in our food consumption of fish or aquaculture, they work on. And then basically they're subsidized by the state of Florida, because then they relay that information to farmers that are raising fish, or importers that are raising fish and selling them. So it helps the economy, basically. That's the thought behind it. But along with that, we have philanthropists that are helping out. And a woman named Kieran Cox is behind this project, funding the server space and so forth, and getting people together. But basically, it's a database of all the sounds we know that fish make. And until very recently, everyone just assumed that fish didn't really communicate. Like maybe they made sounds, like we knew there were squeaking catfish and toadfish that make different noises and croaking gouramis, but we didn't really know what that was about. And a lot of people wrote it off, just like a lot of people said fish don't feel pain or other things like that, until we found the same nerve tissue that humans have. And we just write it off. But now we're finding that, like with mormyrids, for instance, like the elephant nose fish or the ghost knife fish, they could communicate with electrical signals and noises, and they can communicate through muddy water this way. And most of the fish that we can hear making noises are actually catfish or gouramis or anabantoids that live in kind of murky, muddy waters or really tannic waters that have low visibility. And so they're doing this clearly to communicate to their fellow fish. And some of them make noise by filling their air bladder. Some of them can actually fart bubbles. Some of them can rub their pectoral fins against a little piece of cartilage, and it makes a clicking or creaking sound. Others can click their mouth together like parrotfish in their beaks, and others grind their jaw. I mean, there's so many ways that have evolved that these fish make noises, but nobody had ever really put them in one spot. Well, now there's a spot, and it's called fishnoises.net. Or fishsounds.net. What did I say at the beginning? Whatever I said at the beginning. I'll put it in the info below for the members. But it's interesting because now they're going to start opening it and putting like pins on a map of where the species are, and if there's any information on what they're conveying. Because like with mormyrids, we know now that there's one noise they make and all the mormyrids around go silent. And then that same mormyrid that made that one pitch frequency that's identifiable will then say something else. And so it's either communicating food or danger or mating season stuff or who knows what. But they know that they make over 30 different impulses when they're communicating electronically. And same goes for sound with catfish. There's some fish that can make over 100 different sounds. So you've got those active sounds, and then you've also got what we call incidental sounds. So when a fish hits the top of the water and it makes a splash, or when its tail flicks, or when you get one of those, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you know, the water drop noise. So Ferris Bueller reference, if anybody's not getting it. Anyhow, so yeah, it's kind of a cool little project, and I thought some of you might be just nerdy enough to check it out, maybe even to get a aquatic microphone and see if your fish are talking in your aquarium and submit your own data. So yeah, check it out. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend, and have a good one. Talk to you later, Jess. Take it from here. Bye.
And thank you so much from Alex with the Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. You guys, please go check him out. Great, great, smart guy. And we call him our encyclopedia for the fish fam.
Yes, he did, Brooklyn Bell. He did make that noise with his mouth.
Yes. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Some timers is kicking in.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Right? Other interests. So we've talked about what you did in school, but other interests now, other than maybe
working out, and of course the business. Do you have any other interests, like extracurricular activities that you would like to get into or do?
Yeah, school takes quite a bit of time. So does Kats Aquatics, and working out. That does take the large majority of my day. I did recently get a job at a veterinary clinic as a vet assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's very different to work when compared to running a business. It's two
Yes.
very different things that I have finally experienced firsthand.
Yes.
Outside of that,
It's hard when you own a business and you're the boss, and then turn around and you have to work for somebody that's the boss. And for me, I want to help so much that I feel that they want to know what I think.
Mhm.
And so that can be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, the place that I work at is really awesome. It's not just the regular vet place, it's a specialty area. So they have a chemotherapy section, a radiology section, and
Cool.
all of the ologies you can think of, they have. It's definitely interesting. And honestly, on my off time, I love to just head to New Jersey and go to the fish stores. Yesterday was fantastic. Like I said, I got my first crested gecko after so many years of wanting one. My life basically revolves around this. I
Right.
have a saltwater tank over there that I've been experimenting with. It's been such a headache. I just get things going, and my filter, not my filter, my heater exploded like 3 days ago after all of my corals were growing. My clowns were doing great. Everything was doing fantastic, my anemones, and everything is no longer here. But that's okay.
So did you save him, or did they
No,
not make it?
no, they didn't make it. My starfish made it though.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I've been having same thing. I've had one. I almost had it for a year now, and I'm still having headaches with it. Love it. I'm not giving up on it yet, but geez-ons.
Yeah.
It's like, you get one thing lined out, and then something else happens.
It's crazy. I just got everything under control. The algae was doing good. The coral finally growing onto the rock. And I leave to Pennsylvania for one day, and my dad calls me. He's like, "Why is everything dead?" I'm like, "What?"
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So it was sad. But
Probably in your case, it got cold really fast.
no, it overheated.
It overheated.
Yeah, it got very hot. I don't know what my heater did.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah. It happens. You hear it very often. I have my heaters are in my sump for my saltwater tank. So hopefully it
has some
wouldn't.
time to cool down before it
Yeah,
gets
exactly. Yeah, it's got enough time to cool down, because I actually have 2 heaters in mine. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I do it. So if one did bust, hopefully if there is any electric charge, it don't make it all the way into the top. Or if it's too hot, it has time to cool off a little before it gets in there. So I definitely say sumps are the way to go, definitely on saltwater tanks. But in the same hand, I'm fixing to do a nano saltwater tank. So, we'll see what problems arise with that as well. But
I had a tank get to 92 one time, and I happened to just notice it. It's like, oh my gosh.
the heater blew up in the 92.
Well, it just was on and it wouldn't turn off, and it was up to 92.
Woo!
A 10-gallon.
Yeah. Definitely. I have a problem with my hands get cold. And so you put your hands in, a warmer water, and it's really not as warm as you think it is. And so I have a tendency to panic a lot in some of my betta tanks, or some of the more like the Rams tanks. My goodness, I swear to God, they're over 100 degrees when I stick my, clean or whatever. And I'm like, God, that's too hot. But check it, it's not. But
Yeah, I do the same thing.
your hands are just cold, or your hands have been in water for so long that you think they're too cold. So.
And when it's not the same, you find yourself checking your thermometer in there.
Yep.
And it'll be really close.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. Just have one hand here in this tank and have another one in this tank comparing them.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Kat, I sent you a text message. Can you check that real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Just check in chat for any other questions. Oh, Kat, you should go to the Brooklyn Aquarium Society. They have meetings at the New York Aquarium. A great place to make contact and new fish and shrimp friends.
Yeah, I've actually heard about it. I'm not sure where I went. I went somewhere either in New Jersey or Pennsylvania where they had a meetup, and they did tell me about it. Only thing is that I have so many meetups on my mind, so many things to do. It kind of like leaves my mind. But since it's at the New York Aquarium and that is pretty close, would you know how often they meet up? Is it a monthly thing?
Let's see if we can get somebody in the chat to answer that. Probably is a monthly thing.
I'm just writing that down in my notes.
Alshon, he's really up on all these clubs and the people in the know.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely is.
Monthly on a Friday night. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna think about attending.
Wow, that's loud.
That's loud. Yeah, it comes from my computer. I don't even know how to turn.
Mine does a noise like not as loud like that, but it's like, why do you got to do that now?
Yeah, maybe I could search up how to like turn it off, but during all of my Zooms, it's like if I get one text, it fires up the whole thing. It's off next to me. My phone is on Do Not Disturb, but then my computer is like connected to it.
Oh.
All right, you guys. Miss Kats has been very generous, and she is going to let us do a giveaway of her the all-around nutrition. Can you show that jar?
Yeah. So I was thinking, I mean, I could say either this one or this one, or we can do both.
Okay, that's totally up to you.
Yeah, this is the all-in-one. I think, honestly, why don't we just do one of each? Maybe so everybody can, well, not everybody, but so 4 people can get, or...
Oh, I'm game.
I'm not sure, whatever sounds better. If you guys could leave maybe in the comments what you'd prefer for one person to get 2 jars or for 3 or 4 people to get 1 jar. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'd love
already
to.
know what they're going to say. I'll just say four different drawings.
Right. Yeah.
People want a chance.
Right. Yeah. So what we're going to do, you guys, is it's going to be the hashtag Kats Aquatics. And I will put it up on the screen so you know how I spelled it. Right there.
Yeah, there it is.
And let's see.
Hit start.
Yeah. Hit start, Miss Dee. When start is in chat, do hashtag Kats Aquatics. So, Kats, what other kind of shrimp do you like? Like you got the Neos, the 4 Neos, or the 3 Neos, and then the Skittles tank. Mm-hmm. But do you like any of the Caradinas, or?
I've been scared out of keeping Caradina. When I went to Discus Madness, they have all of their water RO'd, and they have a huge system going on, and they said that they couldn't keep one alive for anything. So I haven't been setting up any new tanks pretty recently, mm-hmm. and I haven't been getting into it, especially since I don't have an RO system. I don't think I really need one since we have pretty amazing water in New York. I really want to get into it. I should try it because I don't think it really should not be that hard.
Right. I tried it, but I don't think I had a fair shot at it. So I do plan on trying it again down the road. But I mean, you talk to the shrimp people and they say it's not that hard, but you also talk to a saltwater person and they say it's not that hard. So
Yeah, that's how I started my salt tank. We went to Aquashella in Dallas, and they're like, "Yeah, it's
Yep.
easy. You just put the salt. It's just like fresh." We're like, "Okay, cool." It's not you
Yep.
put the salt, and it's just like fresh.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. For a while there, I was saying that it is, that it's just different, but it's easy as fresh water. And I take that back. I ate my words totally.
Me too. I
And
was saying the same exact thing. I
yeah.
was like, "Yeah, just add salt into the
Yeah.
mix."
Yeah, but nope.
See, and the exact opposite has worked for me. I have had good luck with the Caradina, and I struggle with the Neos.
Right. Yep. Miss Dee Dee's had the opposite effect than what most people have with the
I don't
Neos and the
understand it
Caradina.
either.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. My boyfriend, he has the most beautiful saltwater tank. The corals are doing amazing, but he can't get his freshwater tank to come together for anything. I guess it just depends on your luck, I guess.
Well, at least I can say that, I mean, I haven't killed my fish, knock on wood. But I have killed all of my corals except for my zoas. And they're just struggling. So but I think we're getting it worked out. I had a massive algae bloom. Quit. A major algae bloom, and that's because I put new rock in the tank, and I didn't realize that the rock was going to make it go through and have a bunch of phosphate, and the phosphate decided to just get out of control, and so that fueled the algae, and then I got cyanobacteria on top of the algae, and this is while I was gone to Orlando.
Yeah, everything seems to happen once you leave for a few days.
Yeah. But it's so easy. Just turn the lights off and go. Well, my problem was I fed them before I left and forgot to turn the light off. And nobody noticed that was still at home that the light was on 24 hours. So.
Yeah, I don't know why everything happens when we leave. I guess they just need our particular care. I mean, when I left to Ecuador, I had discus at the time. My dad had 2 of my discus die. When I went somewhere else to Florida, my 10-gallon when I had at the time, the seal broke, the silicone seal broke, and it drained out onto the floor. Then I left to PA, and my heater explodes. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like jinx.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we're gonna hit stop, and we're gonna roll the first one. Let's see. Here we go. Good luck. Ooh.
Is that it?
Nope. Jay Oliver. It stuck on us, didn't it? Jay Oliver, you won the first one.
Oh, wait. How are we going to choose? I guess I'll just surprise you guys, whoever gets which one.
Yeah.
You'll get surprised.
And what I'll do is either, let's see, well, I'll just get them to email me, and then I'll forward the email to you so you know who to ship it to.
For sure.
And we'll just do the 3 or 4 individual instead of one gets all 4. All right. I'm not going to redo. We don't have to put any of the hashtags back in. I'm just going to redraw. So this is for the number 2 jar. Geek Boy. Congrats, Geek Boy. All right, we're going to keep going. We got 2 more. Remember, you guys, to email me at theaquaticmorningshow@gmail.com. Let me know in the description that you won.
Lori.
Miss Lori.
One of the awesome mods.
That's right. And all of these people have shrimp, I believe.
Or snails.
Or snails, right. or plecos or anything that'll eat it. All right. Last one. Draw number 4. Here we go.
My Betta loves Snello, so
Right. Renee House.
Renee.
Congrats. So when you guys email me, remember to put in the description, just put shrimp food or put Kats Aquatics winner. That way I remember.
that's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you so much. So much. They really, really get into giveaways. All right. So it is coming to the end of the stream, you guys. We have left to do the live streams for the day. And then as we go out, I am going to play the events. So if you're looking for an event that will be coming up, just hang on to the end. And Kats, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been great getting to know you on a more personal level and learning more about your food.
Good luck to you in your future endeavors too.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you for having me on. I had a lot of fun. It was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, get the word out. Say, hey, y'all need to come on the Aquatic Morning Show.
For sure.
All right, Miss Dee Dee, let's see them live streams.
Ready? Let's see what we got here.
We're starting our Thursday live streams. This is in Eastern Standard Time. We have the Aquatic Morning Show at 10 a.m. on Main Stills, Fur, and Fins. And following that is Afternoon Chat Delight with Rico Stand at 12:15 Eastern. And we have Miss Kats Aquatics and Reptiles at 2 p.m. with Brandon. And at 5 p.m. we have Thursday with Miss Susan on SLC Aquatics and Pet Exotics, that's Diego, at 5 p.m. And at 6 we have Rockin' the Coast with Rocco's Fish Room. At 7 we have Foxy Fish's Hot Mess Express with Mary Page Flynn. And at 8 is KG Tropicals with John and Lisa. At 9:30 is Fish Room Fever with James and Ed. And at 10:30 we have Craft Ed with Chattanooga Ed, James, and Rico. And at 11:30 we have Rico and the Man with Rico Stan, Chattanooga Ed, and James. And thanks Liquid Zoo for the live stream info found on fishfam.link.
All right. And thank you, Miss Dee Dee, for doing that. That's so big of a help.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
It's fun. It's fun to do too.
All right. You guys, thank you so much for coming and being a part of the Aquatic Morning Show. Thank you for the super chat, super stickers, lurkers, chatters, and everybody in between. We love you guys, and we will be back in the morning. I actually have a dentist appointment first thing, so hopefully I will be back in time. But Miss Dee Dee will definitely start you out, and I'm sure there will be somebody joining her to help out. But so show up to help them out, and we will see you guys in the morning.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
you.
Have a great one.
You too.
Bye-bye.